Hello, it's me, Silver the Wack, here on a Saturday morning, and I saw it, and I will be checking it in a second. Discord, and also Tumblr that I also didn't check, but I will. I will. Uh, let me just. Let me just pause a second. I'm back. Yeah. Okay. So let's. First of all, hi to anyone who might have subscribed to this for whatever reason. Uh, this is my new thing. The light really bounces off the white. Uh, it's a new mug cozy. It was supposed to be like this all the way through, but I went like, you know what, I want a bit of difference in the middle. So I looked up a pattern, and this is called, I think, the jasmine pattern, so I did a bit of that. It doesn't really look a lot like that. It looks kind of weird. Since I reckon this is supposed to be for blankets and stuff, but I was like, yeah, why not? You know? I will be saying something on Tumblr, but I don't think I can do that while recording, so yeah, there's that. And I only saw that when I turned on the computer, because my phone doesn't send notifications at all. And yeah, my friend sent me a message on Tumblr, and I'm a bit worried. I am a bit worried. Well, one good thing about this Macozy is that it has a bottom, like it has an inbuilt coaster. So this might be not because of the coaster, but this might be a bit of a shorter vlog. Yeah, I didn't unpause this. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't even know where I paused this previously, but I was talking about the macozy that I made, which was supposed to be this or this uh, all the way, but I decided to do the something a bit different in the middle, just for a bit of interest. And I found this jasmine stitch tutorial, and I think people use this for blankets, but I was like, yeah, why not? And so I made it. And the good thing about this is that it has an inbuilt coaster, so yeah, it's good. This isn't one of my grandma's buttons. This is one I got from the craft shop. They have like a basket full of old buttons, I suppose. They're randomly thrown in there, and you just have to comb through them. And if you happen to find like a set of 4 or something, you're like, oh, good. And each of them costs 25 cents, I think. Yeah. So this was 25 cents. Yeah, I was talking about the mini vlog that I did yesterday, as it was happening when I got soaked while recycling, which must have been a sight to behold for anyone in the cars passing by, seeing an idiot get soaked while recycling. and for the record, I did put things in the right bins despite the rain. After a while, I was just annoyed and wet like a dog. But yeah, it must have been a sight. There was no umbrella in the car, so yeah. And I usually stay in the car when my mum and goes to do the shopping with my brother, because I don't really enjoy spaces with a lot of people. I mean, when I have to, I go, but normally if I can avoid it, I do. Yeah. I would not, if I happen to live alone, I would not order my shopping online. I think that's wasteful and waste of resources, like human resources, because there are people who actually need that service, and for me it's more of yeah, it's an inconvenience. It makes me feel anxious and stuff, but it's not something that I can't physically do, right? Sometimes I can't, but it's not something I can't do because I have like because I can't walk, for example. And I think that's the kind of people who should benefit from that service, not people with anxiety. You can just pop a calming pill and power through it, you know. So I just avoid it when I can. But yeah, let me just respond to my friend. Yeah, okay. So I responded to my friend, and I responded from my phone, which did not send me any notifications whatsoever. I saw them when I turned on the computer. And it's funny because if you add me on Discord, you will see Dr. Bean PhD. I mean, I don't have a PhD. Mr. Bean doesn't have a PhD either, but it's kind of a joke because I am currently enrolled in a PhD program, and in one of the films, I think it's the first one, Mr. Bean is mistaken with an expert in art when he goes to America, and everyone thinks that he has a PhD, and because he doesn't speak much, nobody really knows that he doesn't have a PhD, and he is quirky enough to be mistaken with someone who is a genius with a PhD. Not that everyone with a PhD is a genius, honestly. But yeah. It's PhD. Good God. Yeah. Ugh, demon. Mr. Bean is one of my favorite characters. I relate to Mr. Bean. I don't know what that says about me, but I relate a lot to Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is one of my as people say on Tumblr, one of my blorbos. No, it's not like that. I just really like Mr. Bean, and I relate to him, like in the loneliness and all that, and in the erratic behavior and all that. Yeah. One of these days, I was even thinking, what if I crocheted Teddy, like his teddy bear, which is called Teddy. Teddy is my dog also. I called my dog Teddy because he looked like a little teddy bear when he was a baby. Even now. Though now he looks more like Chewbacca. And I remember saying that to someone and them laughing and saying that they once met a dog called Chewbacca. Like Chewbacca. And the reason was because it was a fluffy dog as well. I don't think I ever posted the video of my dog. Of me walking my dog. That I edited and sped up like 10 or 15 times. Like, it was really sped up because it was long. And my dog runs a lot for a boy that's getting up on years, and please protect him. I don't know what I would do, but yeah, you know, it's part of life, isn't it? He's 12. He turned 12 this year. But he still runs a lot and he loves to run. And there's a dog in the neighborhood which appears in the video, but it's not really visible because I sped it up so much that that part is kind of blurry. But it's a big dog. The big dog in the neighborhood. My dog is this big, this tall. Like, while standing on his own 4 little paws. But he's this big. Maybe this big. Yeah. I think he's 80 centimeters. I think my brother measured the dog. Because my brother has a thing with measuring things. And people. And stuff. Yeah. But, oh, I did not, weave in this circle end. Let me do that right now. Okay. Yeah, I realized that I hadn't weaved in the bottom of the cozy. Which was a kind of magic ring, but not really. It was, I mean, I guess it was. I'm not sure exactly. So don't quote me on that. But it wasn't the kind of magic ring that is used for amigurumi. It was one of those that's a chain that you then pull into one of the first chains, and then with a slip stitch, and then you do crochets into the donut, as the person who posted the tutorial for this one said. This was quite easy, as it's probably not hard to tell. Like, if you know the basics, you'll be able to do this. But then they were like, just 5 crochet, 5 double crochet, and you'll have the cozy. And I was like, but I wanted something a bit different because all my cozies look the same. So I went and looked for something different. So I found this pattern, the jasmine pattern, and it's really nice. It's soft, probably because the yarn that I use, the milk cotton yarn, is also very soft, but this is very, very plush, and it's really good to hold mugs, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, I have sent a message to my friend asking if there's something I can do, even if it's just listening, because well, I can't really help financially, unfortunately, but I'm here to listen, and I know that she has issues with her family. I mean, everyone does, but yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough, and it's the same friend, not homie, my first viewer. Um, it's a friend who's struggling with the mid-20s. Yeah, I'm past that, in case that's not clear. Um, which I reckon it is. But she also lives in a rural area, so it's hard to find jobs. And she struggles with the same thing as me, not wanting hospitality anymore, because she's had her fair share of it. It's like, on the one hand, I'm team everyone should do hospitality at least for a month in their lifetime, so that they know how to treat hospitality workers and not be rude, to put it very lightly. I'm not sure if I said this when I was talking about my hospitality experience, but I seldom had problems with customers. Like, older customers seldom gave me problems. It was the packs of high school aged children. Like smaller children, for example, middle schoolers, as they're called in the United States, and probably Canada as well. Those were fine, and I even remember that one child, this boy was probably, I would say 12, 13, I'm not sure. He had a coupon for ice cream, right? One of those, what the hell is it called? The Oreo one, the McFlurry, the McFlurry. I worked at McDonald's, and for one, that's one of the places that I can say with 100% certainty was very strict with its rules regarding hygiene and stuff. And I saw it with my own eyes that everything was done properly. Like, everyone was using gloves, everyone was using caps, everyone, yeah. Even this was before the pandemic too. So yeah, I imagine that after that, those people were just going insane no style. But yeah, in that particular place, I have nothing bad to say about the managers, the colleagues, but anything, really nothing. It was a great experience, but it also taught me a lot about the way corporations see human beings. Like, the managers didn't have a lot of say in the policies, they just followed them. Sometimes they turned a blind eye when they saw like a situation where someone needed something, and there was me just giving away free chips and free burgers, and in this case, the child. It was a little boy. I wouldn't put him over 13 years old, and he had a coupon for a McFlurry. And he was very happy with it because free ice cream. And when I put it, I accidentally pressed it twice, and it was letting me proceed with the checkout for 0 with the 2. And so I looked at this boy and said, "Do you want 2?" Because the machine is letting me give you 2. And he was like, "Yes, I do." And he was like, "Yay, 2." And that really made my day. I was really, really pleased with that. He was very happy with it. And I gave this child 2 Oreo McFlurries for free, because he had a coupon. I don't know what kind of coupon it was. They often had those promotions, like the one that I mentioned about the hot drinks. I think it was just hot drinks. Yeah, it was also a promotion that they had. And I remember that when I was not until I was in the dining area, because it was a big restaurant, and it's chaotic, because you have to go around picking up stuff that people leave on the tables, and the bins fill up in 5 minutes flat when it's rush hour, like rush hour in a restaurant. They fill up. You have to take them out. And if you don't have a replacement bag, people will just chuck the rubbish inside the empty container, and then you have to put the rubbish inside the bag and put the bag back, and then wait there until it fills, and then take it out. And this was a 2-story restaurant. So, and the rubbish room was upstairs. So I had to go upstairs to the rubbish room, and it had this compactor. And in the time that I went there with the bin to compact it and returned with more bags, when I got back down, the bin would already be full at those hours. Yeah, it was chaos. And there was also the thing with the trays, because you picked up the trays and you took them to the counter, right? And they were cleaned, and then you went back and put them wait, no, that's not how it was. Sorry. No, that's not it. The trays would be beside the bin, as anyone who's ever been in a McDonald's will know. When that was full, the person in the dining area would grab those trays, take them to the counter. They would be cleaned, and then people would fill the tray spots again. The process repeated. It was just awful. It was awful. It was terrible. especially in the rush hour, because yeah. And I remember, now I'm just rambling for the sake of rambling. I hope that you're up for some employment, hospitality tales, rambles. When I was in the dining area, that's the only place where I had a colleague who was an asshole. And I will use the word, she was an asshole. She was the oldest person working there, and she was an asshole. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever noticed, but McDonald's employees have the name tags, right? And those tags sometimes have stars, and that means rank. If you like showcase performance and productivity, you get stars. I only worked there for like a year or so I never got any stars, because that's around the time that they give you a star. And this woman had been there for years. She had 0 stars. Because she was rude. She was actually extremely rude to the colleagues, not to the customers, because she didn't speak to the customers. And she was from abroad. Like, I was also from abroad. This happened in a different country. And she didn't really speak the language very well, which was a problem. And all she did was clean the tables and stuff, and she didn't speak to the customers, and she hardly spoke to the colleagues unless she wanted to complain and bitch and be rude. And one day I was upset about life in general, and she kept relentlessly harassing me for no reason, like I wasn't doing anything. And she kept harassing me relentlessly to the point where I left that place on the verge of tears, basically. And I was so upset that I was carrying those trays down the stairs, because the counters were obviously downstairs. I was carrying a tower this big, and you weren't supposed to do that. And the security guard, who would stay on the landing in the middle of the stairs, like the stairs went like and like this, and he would stay in the landing right here. And he saw me with those trays, and he was like, "You shouldn't be carrying those trays like that." And I was like, "It's fine." And he was like, "You go. Please don't fall." And then I left my shift on the verge of tears, and there were a lot of buskers around the area, and I remember distinctly that on this particular day there was one there. I'm not going to dox the place, but there was one there, and he was playing Avicii's Wake Me Up When It's All Over. And there was some benches there, and I just sat down and I started bawling, like the dam just broke. and there was someone who was also watching the performance, and this man looked at the busker and said, "Oh, that was great. You even have someone crying here." And the busker looked at me and was like, "Hopefully that's good." And I was like, "Yeah," because in a way it was, because it was cathartic, as crying is. But then the man who noticed that I was crying looked at me and went like, "Everything all right? You need something? Something happened to you?" And I was like, "No, it's fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry." And he was like, "Okay," and then left. So yeah, it wasn't a creep. It was just someone who was concerned. Yeah. Wow. Shocking. Surprising. People can be nice. Yeah. But that was probably the only bad experience with a colleague that I had working there. And I didn't really have bad experiences with customers aside from those packs of children from high school children. And yeah, I would give away stuff. Yeah, I was talking about my friend and then tangents and tangents, and that's the problem. It's because she can't find a job either, because she doesn't want hospitality either, and it's for the same reason. But in her case, she has bad experience with customers being rude. And she also lives in a rural area, so yeah. And there's the thing, right? If you have a degree in this country, you're normally not hired unless you lie in your CV, which is not ideal, especially because then you'll have a random gap in the CV. And they'll ask what it was, and I mean, you can say health reasons, and they don't really have the legal rights to ask you exactly what health reasons, but it's still something, it's still grounds for them not to hire you. It's like that. And that's also the reason why I even with some of those unqualified jobs that I applied for, I have not been called. I also live in a rural area, but there are several factories around, and I wouldn't mind working in one of those. But yeah, for one, people know who I am, because this is a small community and everyone knows everyone. And also they don't really want to hire people with citizenships, because they want to pay the least possible to the employees, right? And they then give people 3 months or 6 months, if the person happens to be lucky, 3 months or so of contract to these immigrants, and then after those 3 months are up, out with you. So anyone complaining that immigrants are stealing jobs, no. that really isn't it. It's the employees being greedy bastards and exploiting the people that they can exploit. And they can't exploit citizens because we have rights. And yeah, it's a real problem. For example, my cousin had to move to the capital to find a job. Yeah, so what can I say? I personally would not be able to do that because, yeah, I'm dependent. So I've been looking at remote jobs, and the only thing that appears to me are random gigs, random translation gigs that don't pay very much at all. And I have finished my other translation, and I will be sending it to publishers, and whoever picks it up. I'll be sending it to another one and hope. That's all I can do. I can hope. Yeah. Because I started reading that book by Hari Kunzru, and I realized why the ratings aren't stellar. Like, it's not that the book is bad. Like, the Goldfinch, I had forgotten, is also narrated in the first person, but it's past tense. Ari Kunzru's is also past tense. White Tears is also in the first person, but past tense. And I generally like that. I don't like present tense first person. I'm okay with first person past tense. I'm not really a fan of first person present tense. It's a preference. Literally, that's a preference. That is the definition of a preference. Um, but yeah, some of the criticisms that I saw towards that book were that it's a bit pretentious, and I just read the first page and I was like, oof, yeah, it does feel a little bit pretentious, doesn't it? And the translation is not very good either. I'm not sure what the original is like, but the translation isn't very my thing. Some of the word choices are like, I'm maybe it's better in different parts of the book, but yeah, from what I saw, not really. Yeah, and again, we're at the 40 minutes mark. I am sorry. I keep rambling. And that's because in real life, I don't talk much. I've said this before and I will say it again. Because it's the truth. I really am sorry. I didn't have much to say, but then I ended up rambling and waffling, and yeah. I'm sorry. But thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for not calling me names. Thanks for putting up with me and my rambles. I hope that this adds something to your life, whatever you might be doing. And yeah, I'll be back. That's a real threat. Yeah, that's a threat. Bye bye.